everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are going to talk about the user experience of promotions and loyalty programs. And my name is Julia Gaj. I am a product marketing manager at Voucherify, and I'm joined by Kamil Szymczak, who is a senior product designer at Divante, a Cloudflight company.
Hi everybody. It's a great opportunity to be here and have this kind of conversation, because I think that the promotions and loyalty programs are very essential part of every commerce, and this is the part of our daily grind. So it's a great opportunity to have this kind of conversation.
Great. Okay, Kamil. So I think that you worked on plenty of e-commerce projects so far, right? So
That's true.
You must have seen some major wins and fails when it comes to designing promotions and loyalty programs. So my first very general question would be, what are the most common or the biggest problems that you see brands do when it comes to, designing promotions and loyalty programs?
Yeah, I think I will be able to provide a full list of various things, like the lack of straightforward messaging about associated costs of promotions. That's really crucial, and for sure, making them to be visible by default. On the other hand side, we have got overly aggressive cross-selling promotions, especially during the checkout process. That might be a huge issue. For sure, too much active instead of passive kind of promotions, and I personally consider this as a really crucial part of the promotion process. Creating a lot of some kind of barren loyalty programs that do not bring any kind of value for the user, and seems to be one-off, right? And for sure, obviously, the really complex terms and conditions, and the list goes on, probably.
That's a long one, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that the most important thing is basically to thinking generally about e-commerce strategy. Frankly, there's a lot to take care of, and I totally understand that. I mean, you need to think about, when you are starting an e-commerce business, you need to think about UX, you need to think about search engine optimization, design itself, finding the best possible technology solution, and so many different things that it's very easy to forget about promotions and loyalty program. But I think this is really important to also include at least some kind of brief plan for those elements in the holistic strategy approach, and not just add those elements as a cherry on the top.
Yeah,
that's really important. And on the other hand side, basically the very strong focus on promotions and doing it in kind of aggressive way, when everything is shouting on you that this is a great deal, this is an amazing promotion.
Get it now.
Get it now, exactly. I mean, making this kind of a feeling in a user that you need to hurry, because this is the one lifetime
it's kind of
opportunity.
Inducing, right?
Exactly. So I feel that we need to search for something in between. That would be an optimal option.
Yeah, that's a great conclusion here, right? So you shouldn't be either too aggressive with your promotion strategy and do only promotions all the time, because they will, eventually it will cheapen your brand as well, right? So customers will only shop with you because,
Exactly, that's true. A healthy balance and clear information architecture, of course, combined with some kind of personalization, should be good enough customer, should give us a good enough customer experience to make shopper finish their purchase and eventually return.
Yeah, this is the ultimate goal, right? So to nourish this brand loyalty. And I think here it's also very important to mention that when you're designing specific promotion components, even if you fail to design them beforehand, if you have proper infrastructure behind it all, then you can easily add or adjust promotions and loyalty programs to to both internal and external factors, right? So here you may think, for example, about Max certified solutions, Max certified vendors and front ends, composable commerce, right? Where designers, I believe that you as a designer really appreciate when you can just easily adjust certain elements because, for example, you see that something's not working and you don't really have to go back and, destroy the back-end infrastructure of everything and, crash the store, right? So this would be also very, very important, I believe. And you mentioned personalization, right? So
yeah, that's true.
At Voucherify, we use the term a lot. Mostly personalization of promotions when it comes to building them. It's about targeting, right? So you target a specific discount at a very specific group. Our customers, for example, they usually use, for example, session data or cart content, right? So if you purchase 3 products, then you're in this group, etc. But this is, I believe, only one side of personalization. This is more about the infrastructure and how promotions are built. But what about personalization of promotions when it comes to the UX of the store? How can you add personalization there? Do you have any tips, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think that basically the personalization is very interesting topic over here. And I guess for sure, intelligent product recommendation, that would be perfect. Combined with, for example, the personalization combined with discounts on wish list and dedicated custom dashboards for logged in users. When we can use machine learning, I mean, this is really, really exciting. I mean, when you can, for example, you have budget and you have, of course, possibility to implement the machine learning. This is very helpful in terms of personalization because, we can imagine the situation when we are competing on the market.
Yeah.
With many other different companies. And, let's, for example, assume that we are selling coffee, right? Quite popular product. And, imagine the situation when you can send information for your client, like, hey, you purchased coffee beans like a week ago. And for example, we hope it was delicious. But let's think about maybe replenishing your coffee because it's maybe
we estimate the time, right?
Exactly, to assure that you will
proactive with the customer.
Exactly enjoy your perfect cup of espresso. And how cool is that? I mean, it's kind of a really nice thing because obviously someone wants to sell me something.
It's not that creepy, right?
Because but at the same time wants to take care of the customer.
Yeah.
That's a really good approach. And once a customer trusts you enough to share the personal information, it's kind of a jackpot, without using any kind of deceptive patterns. Yeah. So this is the best possible option we have over here. We can also create dashboards for optimal personalization. For sure, it's quite versatile option. Yeah. We can use this space for referrals, all kinds of codes and loyalty programs.
Anything really, right? So dashboards are definitely, they're pretty popular among our customers. We call it digital wallets. Usually that's how we call it. So this is like a dedicated space where clients can just, they can log in and then they can see all promo codes they own, how many customers they referred, or like their loyalty score. And very often, I think customer dashboards are also used for loyalty programs, right? So for example, customers, it's more like a self-service thing where customers can just log in and like claim reward, so they don't need you really to get rewards and and use the program. So, but there's, I think, one problem with dashboards. Dashboards and like customer cockpits or digital wallets, they are for, long-term customers, let's say, logged-in customers, customers that you already know. But how do you really, catch the attention of, first-time buyers, people who just, arrived at your website and now can you really personalize or like improve their promotional experience? And if yes, what would you suggest here?
I think we already mentioned the first thing. So basically all kind of passive instead of active promotions, because when you are a first-time visitor or you are new to a store, this is extremely clear message for customer. I mean, for example, add the product to the cart and you will gain like 10% discount in the cart. That's really simple and obvious for all customers, even the new. That's the first thing. Of course, I think there's we have the quiz. This is also something which is gain on popularity these days, because you can create a short test. You can formulate few questions. You will receive answers, and the customer will receive the personalized, for example, perfect matched products.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's also quite interesting. And yeah, we can also consider the compilation pages. This seems to be quite an excellent choice over here too. Filling on the other hand side, filling the compilation page with hundreds and thousands of different
that
products.
can be an overkill, right? Quickly, depends on the brand.
Exactly.
Right?
So we also should to think and consider the intelligent filtering over there. Once again, balance between convenient personalization and over categorization, or overwhelming the customer with so many different possibilities,
like you mentioned before, right?
I even discovered lately the data from Weimar Institute that they have the huge base of e-commerces in their benchmark, and like approximately 75% fall victim of over categorization, or
That's
even
a lot,
limiting users' ability to find relevant product or relevant promotion. So instead of smooth process, we want to give and create too much.
Yeah, we love the
categories
customers. We want to
too
give
much
them,
filters.
the world, but then we end up, just inducing anxiety. And I think there's like a term for that in like marketing psychology. It would be like choice overload, right?
Yeah,
there's like
for
plenty
sure.
of studies on it. Yes, so when you have like 10 options, it's kind of worse than having like 3, right? Then if you have like 3 or 2, you're more sure with your choice. When you get to like over like 5,
exactly,
you start to question yourself as well.
And obviously, every kind of testing would be very helpful. If we would like to find relevant filters or categories, I guess like tree sorting or card sorting is the perfect match in terms of this issue.
Okay, so most definitely, providing this, safe space for customers to, browse through your offers, this would be like very important thing. But now I feel like a lot of brands struggle with communicating the value or the terms and conditions of promotions. So with UX writing basically here. So do you have any tips about, UX writing when it comes to promotions and loyalty programs?
Yes, I think I've got a really simple solution. Keep things simple.
Yeah, we love that one.
If you would like to run a campaign that need a separate terms and conditions page, maybe think twice if you really need like to run such a campaign. For sure, there is a bunch of tips in terms of content creation or writing. If you are not sure where to start, there is also a really good tool which is connected with WCAG accessibility guidelines. There's something which is called FOG index. You can just Google it, and there's a lot of different tools. You can pick up the most convenient for you. It's basically about putting the particular text copy over there, and you will see how hard this copy is to understand for customers. But the general rules, like be clear, be helpful, and for sure consistent. Try to create your copy in some kind of context. For sure, be conversational. this is really important to write like a human being.
Don't be a robot. Yeah, especially in the age of AI tools, right? So
Exactly.
this would be nice.
We need to compete with the AI tools right now. So this is very interesting for sure. That's even more important at the moment to just be a human being and write conversationally. Also, the good idea is to lead with the main point and benefit if possible. What else? I mean, if you need a really long content, it's a good option to structurize a bit the text to have some kind of hierarchy.
Yeah.
This is much easier for users to navigate. Of course, avoid showing too much details upfront. And of course, all kinds of lists and links, try to make it clear.
Yeah.
So just to sum up, I mean, when we are, discussing the copy or, basically the UX text, the UX writing, I think like we need to focus on the three main key elements, and we need to communicate them clearly. What the promotion is, what benefit it brings to the user, to the customer, and how to use it.
Yeah.
Of course, we can add some countdown timer if, for example, the promotion is limited due to the time. That's basically
simple,
it, to keep it simple.
Yeah, clean, exactly. When you can. All right. Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely, the list can go on and on, right?
Yeah,
so there are like dedicated studies.
We can multiply the rules.
Yeah, tutorials, things like that, dedicated to UX writing specifically. I think like also an important thing to consider when you're running promotions is to always show this reference price, right? So for example, you shouldn't only tell a customer that, okay, now it's like minus 20% off, one-time occasion only. You should always show a customer what the price was before you slashed it. It does wonders. And yeah, I guess it's even like required by law right now.
Yeah, I mean, right? This is quite fresh and new thing because I totally agree with you. But it's at the same time it's worth mentioning that that the omnibus directive started to regulate the pricing policy regarding the promotions. I guess across all EU countries with some slight differences. And in the case of managing prices during a wide range of promotions, we need to consider this legislative act. But I believe this is quite still a new topic, and I guess
nobody knows
quite one
on.
and for a separate meeting.
It's like with GDPR, right? When it was introduced, like what's going on? Yeah, and there are like
we need a while to establish the law and figure it out.
Yeah, but definitely you need to plan ahead and figure out how to properly display all that, right?
Yeah, exactly,
so it's not just a basic text. Maybe you can do it in a better, more interactive way, perhaps. I think that if I can add on some things to to UX writing and some tips on how to improve the legibility maybe of your promotions. We've had a very interesting case of our client who actually was struggling with pretty low redemption rates when it comes to their referral program. And then they did a very, very minor tweak with their promo codes, which is they removed all the confusing characters, which is, for example, like 0 and big O, right? So customers can find it confusing. And there was a lot of failed redemption attempts because of that. And I guess there was a lot of frustration, right, on the part of customers. And when they changed it, they've seen that, the redemptions were up and there was much less dissatisfaction, for example, with the code. So this would be one thing. So that even the pattern of your promo codes, a minor thing you can think.
Small minor thing.
But it can change your campaign, right? If you have a code with very confusing characters, which is very long as well, right? If you have a long, 10, 12 characters long code, you can see much lower redemption rates and much lower satisfaction.
We are speaking about the strategy globally and so many different things, and
it's a minor
top level.
Right.
But sometimes the minor tweaks and the really simple quick wins bring very very good results. So, it's worth sometimes also to focus on the small things. And like in this example, very simple solution,
and it's
quick
changed
win.
the game in a way
It's
for
absolutely
them, right?
change the game.
And
yeah, that's true.
If I can, I would like to come back to one topic that you mentioned before, which is this difference between active and passive promotion, because I believe that some of our viewers may not be aware of the difference. So if you can tell us, a little bit more about that, and
Of
which
course.
one do you prefer as a designer yourself?
Frankly, I have example, and I basically discovered on my own like 2 days ago maybe. So it's perfectly describing the situation. So imagine when you have I'm a human being, so the behavioral psychology also applies to me. But I really like to plan my purchases online. So I'm adding products to lists, and just within the time I just observe if there is a promotion, what's the best deal.
Right.
So I'm doing this strategically, also as a customer. I might be a power user, but I also sometimes do some
there's some
purchases
impulse
emotionally
purchases as well, but some of them are
but I wanted to buy
choices.
the same products, yes. And in shop A, the price the first price was lower at the very beginning, and at the same time there was information that there is a code, there is a promotion, like 20%, let's say, discount. And I heard and I thought, okay, I mean, I can just use it and I will have even better price. So I wanted to implement to put the coupon inside the box, and apparently there was the message error that this particular product, I mean, there's like a huge list. It's excluded from the promotions. So that was the first frustration. But I thought, okay, I mean, there's like, I can add myself to a newsletter and I will receive 15%. It's 5% less. But
still something.
Something.
Inflation.
So I just sign up and subscribe to a newsletter. I waited like 1 hour to receive the code, so I was really patient about it. I received it, and it was exactly the same situation.
Oh my God!
The error message that this product is disclosed from the promotion, and at the same time there was the shop B. The price was slightly higher, the base one, but there was like promotion, very passive promotion, that there's like additional 10% directly in the basket, in the cart.
You don't have to do anything.
So you can only imagine which shop was my
and which had a better experience.
Exactly, and
even though the first one offered more.
And what's more important, I became an ambassador of the brand B because of the promotion, right? Because I'm much more satisfied with the solution, and I am happy to to have better deal, at least to have one.
Yeah. So definitely, and I think that I've also seen it with our clients when it comes to integrating promotions. A lot of them start with, we call them cart promotions, which is automatic discounts. So for example, our client would set up certain steps. For example, only segment new customers with a purchase of like $50 automatically gets a discount, right? So this is like, I think, the easiest to integrate at first and the easiest to launch, because you don't need to generate codes, you don't need to distribute them to customers, you don't need to assign them maybe to specific customers.
Right.
It's just open for all, right? But I guess there are also some flaws. For example, if you don't set up your rules correctly, this can be an overkill very quickly, right? If you give all customers minus 10 or minus 15%, after a while it can bring you losses instead of generating.
Depends on the strategy,
but it's a strategy thing, right?
Exactly.
So always e-commerce stores and e-commerce business owners need to be aware that all of those promotions have their strengths and weaknesses.
But
right?
there's nothing wrong. I mean, in terms of I'm not against the coupons. Because I'm from so many situations, it's very reasonable to provide such coupons. I mean, for example, signing newsletter, as long as the coupon works, that's fine. That's
as
coupon,
a reward, right?
As a reward, as a
behavior-based reward,
not something
contest,
that is basically over there.
It doesn't make sense to add a coupon to a banner, right? If you can
for example,
if you can just give it automatically.
Of course, coupons also maybe great if something went wrong within the whole process, and you would like to
apologize coupons.
Apologize or give a bonus to a client to at the end have the good experience with this particular client. Of course, if you are organizing offsite some kind of contests, competitions on your social media and stuff like this, it's a good idea. If you have a loyalty program where you can exchange the already gathered points to coupons, that also makes sense. But if you need to create terms and conditions, create some kind of coupon, you are avoiding even this situation when you mentioned with your client. I mean, because you don't need a client. I mean, you don't need a code. It's basically there, right?
This is the easiest.
So you can achieve the client satisfaction.
From the software perspective too.
Exactly.
So like everybody's kind of happy with the solution. All right. Okay. So we mentioned here and there this kind of coupon redemption process, because we said that, it can be burdensome a little bit, to go put the code in, redeem it. With card promotions, you have it automatically. But if you want to have, promo codes in your store or gift codes, whatever that is, how would you, as a designer, design this process, design the checkout view for coupon codes in the best way possible? Are there any tips or best practices here?
Yeah, obviously we need to provide a very clear space for coupon codes, and for sure it's supposed to be located somewhere in the cart before the first checkout step.
Yeah.
So the clients can, just check and verify if the coupon, if the code is working,
valid,
is it valid,
before
and stuff
they
like
proceed,
this. That's totally fine. But and this is really this is really interesting tip, I guess, because when we are leaving an empty field with the coupon, the studies shown lately that basically you can churn a bit because of the fear of missing out. Because when you see, I mean, there's empty field with the coupon.
You want to fill it in,
so
right?
You want to fill it in and you want to search for a coupon. And I had, as a customer, I also had a lot of situations when you are searching for desperately searching for a code, because if there is a code, so there is such a possibility to use it. There is something. So you don't want to feel like you are losing a good deal.
That's a good point.
So we need to try avoid FOMO over here. And once again, the Bimart Institute research, eye tracking test sessions proved that empty coupon form fields draw disappropriate user attention. So it's much better to use to hide the coupon fields behind links. I mean, there should be there, but after really small interaction,
do you have a coupon code you can
them.
click and then it reveals? Okay, that's a good
and
one.
of course, we need to understand about the proper messaging system, about the errors and success. The ability, for example, to clear the coupon. If you have the ability to if the strategy let's say assumes that you can put two different codes at the same time,
stacking,
you need to think about stacking and so many different things. But of course the proper and clear messaging,
that you can remove the code or change it or add another one, because then it can be a little confusing. Okay, so there's a lot of small things you have to keep in mind designing a small coupon field, but that's the design, right? So you need to analyze everything, because everything matters at the end, right? So as you said, you had a bad promotional experience because of
that's true.
too long terms and conditions, right?
Those elements are part of the good practices. So as long as a designer or product designer remember about it, you don't need to think about it. But it's good to keep those small things in mind when you are designing a store.
All right. Okay. So there's, quite a lot of things you have to consider and remember about. But when you already have all this, done and set in stone, and you know what you want to do, how do you test the promotion flow, your hypotheses? How do you test if it all works?
That's a really good question, because, we need to understand that no one has the absolute power to provide always the ultimate perfect solution that will work out of the box. Of course, there is a lot of research. We have all of the good practices, We have our experience, but each and every product, is just totally different thing. So we need to, with this different customers, different strategy. So we need to test it to have a deeper knowledge. Without it, it's really hard to create something always
working
perfect.
in the dark, right?
Yeah. So I always like to start with customers. If you have a regular touch points with your clients, you should be able to conduct primary research. That's the first thing. If you don't have the clients yet, you can create a marketing persona. Then this might be a really good option for you. I guess you can also, of course, if you have a client or you can source them somehow, you can run the IDIs, the in-depth interviews. You can just have 8-10 people per your persona or marketing persona and just speak with them and try to figure it out what's working for them and what's the client's perspective. So this is it. I mean, if you can speak to the clients directly, we can go with the heat maps. Of course, if the budget allows us the A/B testing, because in the most of the cases it's slightly more expensive solution. With heat maps, you can see where basically your clients clicking and which kind of promotions are more engaging for them. I mean, this can give you the essential insights. What's more eye-catching, what works best for your audience. And regarding A/B testing, you can create multiple exit intent campaigns, and display them equally to users to see which solution is better, has better
how big of a discount
conversion.
you need to offer to make people click in a way, right? All right. Okay. So I think that there's plenty of ways, right, to test if it works. Some of them require separate software solutions. Some of them are just talking directly to your clients. And I think here it's important to underline again how important software behind all of that is. For example, we created Voucherify with this kind of purpose in mind, that marketers finally would be able to just generate, run campaigns, and then in one quick view they can just see the redemption rates, the success rates, and they can easily see which one works best, right? Whether it's the one with -8, -9, or maybe -10%. Perhaps the one with -8% works equally well as -10. So maybe this is, the one that we should offer, right? Okay, so we have this, testing phase done, but then we also need to consider the promotion flow, the type of promotions, the value of promotions. And I guess it is a little bit of a design, area
might be.
as well.
That's true.
It's maybe more on the business side, but maybe in your experience, what should the marketing or sales team do here to get started on the right foot?
For sure, we need to understand that not everything will work for everyone, and that's the beauty of it. We need to start with determining what kind of promotion makes sense to our business, and who are they for. And of course, we need to have some kind of discussion with internal stakeholders. We need to set up the KPIs, and we need to decide how we're gonna measure the success about the promotions. Then we can start thinking how to translate those KPIs and metrics to design, and how to achieve success in terms of the promotion flow. So I guess this is the part of the strategy, but it's it's some kind of, it's resonating with the design layer. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I believe, as you mentioned, talking to, all important, stakeholders in the process, because there's, a lot of departments and teams that in some way will influence how your promotions will, it's finance, it's even legal, right? Can have something to say when it comes to, for example, loyalty programs or or gift cards, let's say.
And if you don't know where to start, I guess also the competitive audit might also be a solution, you know, just to check and verify what's going on the market, how your competitors running the promotions.
And do it better.
And do it better or, you know, find a unique way.
To you know, kind of twist the campaign and make it yours. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like this was a pretty insightful discussion that we've had. So I hope that the viewers enjoyed it too. And, you know, there has been, you know, a lot of best practices lists and things that I guess you can, you know, note down and then use in your promotion flows. But luckily, we have prepared some UX kits that our clients and Divante Cloudflight clients can use to, you know, just get started with promotions. So there are UX kits available on Figma for free, and clients can just, you know, get started with, you know, the best components designed by you as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they are available for free for everyone. So I think this is a really good option. Just, you know, to download the file, check how it works. Like, I mean, just explore a bit. That might be extremely valuable for a lot of people.
All right. So thank you for chatting with me today.
That was truly a pleasure.
And thank you to our audience for joining us today. And you can download the UX Figma kits by visiting the link visible on the screen. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having me.